Good morning, children. In this session, we are going to discuss a new concept, and it is also the continuation of the last video or last concept which we saw. That is about the plate tectonics and the internal process of the earth. In the last session or in the last video, we discussed about the internal processes. Plate tectonics. Plate tectonics means in the lithosphere layer, it has a more number of slabs, like how in a cake we are having different layers, like that the lithosphere layer or face will have a different layers in that face or in that level or in that layer. That is known as tectonic plates. So there is a change or collision or minor movements or minor adjustments or clash between the plates, land surfaces under the land surface, under the ocean surface. That collision or the clash happens, or that is known as a plate tectonics. So in plate tectonics, we have three different types of plate boundaries or plate tectonics. That is convergent boundary, divergent boundary, and conservative boundary. So this and all I explained in the last session itself. Now we are going to continuation of this concept, which to where we are moving and where we are continuing, or which concept we are going to continue. So for that continuation, I have given some outline or explanation about that, which concept we are going to see in this video. So these are the complete explanations for the different plate tectonics or different boundaries: convergent, divergent, conservative, and transform boundary. So in this session or in the video, we are going to discuss about the two concepts, that is movements of continental plates and earthquake, and what are its different waves that is been produced during the earthquake situation. That is the two concepts we are going to discuss in this session or in the video. So that is in yes. Now straight away we move into the concepts. Movements of continental plates. Movements of continental plates means it's a two continents getting collided or through moving upward or moving downward. That is known as continental plates. And how the different continents are created by one with the other when it get collided or movement from downward to or upward. That is known as continental plates. And the movement of upward and downwards of the plates is called folding. Due to lateral compressional forces, the plates are forced to move upwards and downwards. This is called folding. So due to the lateral compressional forces. So due to the natural compressional forces or lateral compressional forces between the plates, that creates a movement in upward and downward. That process is known as or called as folding. So through this upward and downward movement of plates creates a large size mountains and ranges in the land surfaces. That is known as folding or continental plates. Mountains formed by folding are called fold mountains. So that means the upward and downward movement of plates is called a folding. So this movement or this process takes place at any time and at anywhere. So this movement of upward and downward of plates known as folding. So due to this action, there are several small mountains and large mountains will be formed or created, that are known as fold mountains. So simply we can understand upward and downward movement of plates is known as folding. So due to the process or movement of upward and downward plates is known as, there are some are large or small mountains will be formed, so that mountains are known as fold mountains. The process of folding creates lofty mountain ranges such as Himalayas and Alps. So due to the process of folding, upward and downward movement, lofty mountains means it's a high or large size mountain ranges and other small size mountains are formed. So for example, due to the process of folding, there are two very lofty mountain ranges which were formed millions of years ago, that are Himalayas which it's a northeastern frontier or boundary of India, and Alps, it's a mountain range in France. According to plate tectonics, the plates are in constant motion with an average rate of few centimeters per year. That means plate tectonics is what? So in the lithosphere phase or the lithosphere zone, there is a movement of plates. So due to that movement of plates that will happen continuously in a year, the plates will move per year very few centimeters. The movement might seem slow, but over millions of years, the plates and the continents riding on them move a long way. So in the lithosphere layer, the plates will start moving constantly throughout the year. According to plate tectonics, the plates are in a constant motion with an average rate of a few centimeters per year. So in the lithosphere layer and the phase, plate tectonics will move in a constant motion. That means they consistently or regularly they have some movements throughout the year with a distance of few centimeters per year. So per year, the plate tectonics will move for just a few centimeters. That the movement of plate tectonics will happen throughout the year with a distance they cover very few centimeters. The movement might seem slow, but over millions of years, the plates and continents right on in them moving a long way. The movement that is a very slow, but over millions of years, the plates and continents they having a continuous riding or continuous changing its position from a very few centimeters that continues for a very long and long time. For example, about 250 million years ago, the Indian plate was a part of Gondwana land, which comprised of modern Africa, Australia, Antarctica, and South America. So around 250 million years ago, Indian plate or Indian region which is located in the Gondwana land. See, this is the Gondwana land. This is the Gondwana land. That is consists or comprised of modern Africa, modern Australia, Antarctica, and South America, or comes under the Gondwana land. In that, so approximately 140 million years ago, so the plate movements that took place about 250 million years ago, the Indian plate was a part of this Gondwana land. Indian plate was a part of Gondwana land. Approximately 140 million years ago, the Indian plate broke away from ancient supercontinent Gondwana and began moving north and collided with the Asian plates. So in this concept, what the telling means, approximately 140 million years ago, Indian plate was a part of Gondwana land. So Indian plate was belonged to this region before 140 million years ago, and it collided with the Eurasian plate and formed a, and it get moved towards the Asian plates, and it joined with the Asian plates. The collision with the Eurasian plate along the boundary between India and Nepal formed the orogenic belt that created the Tibetan Plateau and the mighty Himalayan mountains. So this Indian plate started getting broke away from the Gondwana land, and it get added or mingled with the Eurasian plates, and it created and formed as a new Asian part of the regions or Asian continents. So you can have a look into this map. You can see how India was formed and how it collided with it. So initially, Indian plate was a part of the Gondwana land, and the later stages, what happened after 140 million years ago, it collided with this Eurasian plates near to the borders of Tibet and Himalayan ranges, this region. So from here, it moves this side, and like this, India moved from Gondwana plates to Eurasian plates, and it joined the Eurasian plates and hit or it is tangent with the Eurasian plates, this region of Tibet and Himalayan mountains or Himalayan ranges. So this is the how the movement of continental plates took place. So you can see the maps and the pictures, whatever is given. I think so it is enough to understand this concept easily. The simple thing is there are two different plates or two different locations in the map or in the world. So due to the movement of Gondwana land from northern side, the India which added to the Eurasian plates. So this concept ends. Now we move to the next concept. So you can see how how Gondwana land separated, and it from Gondwana land to India, how added to the Eurasian plates and formed as a new member of the new region of Eurasian plates. See these different images, you can clearly understand. So India in the earlier times of million years ago, it was a part of Africa, the Gondwana land, and it get collided with the Eurasian plates and moved to this region, and it formed as a part of the new Eurasian plates, and this is the new modern day world map. From here, India moved to this direction. Millions of years ago, India was part of this region. This is the Gondwana land. From here, it moved towards the northern side and it joined to the Eurasian land masses. So with that movement of continental plates ends, now we are going to see the next or second concept of this session is earthquake. So wherever I have marked like this is the answer for question number 4th block, 6th question answer. So this is the answer for question number 6 in 4th block, and this is for 6th block, question number 2. Earthquakes. I think so. As you all know, what is earthquake? But still, I need to explain. That's why I am continuing this. Earthquakes are generally caused by the sudden vibrations in the Earth's crust, which spreads outward in all directions as waves from the source of disturbance. So simply we can call it as earthquakes. Earthquakes in the outer layer of the Earth's surface, there is a sudden vibration. So that vibration spreads its all directions to the other entire layers of the Earth through the different disturbances and through different sources. That is known as earthquake. The point of origin of an earthquake is called focus, hypocenter. So in this image you can find the hypocenter and epicenters. So from here, hypocenter, which generates a series of, so this region is the hypocenter. From here, a series of elastic waves, that is known as hypocenter. Epicenter is a point on the Earth's surface that lies directly above the focus. So you can see this image, the earthquake, epicenter, and there is a series of elastic waves that are created. These different waves, these are known as hypocenter and epicenter waves that are created on the Earth. The impact of earthquake is felt the most at the epicenter. So when the earthquake comes, the sudden impact we can feel it, that we can feel the immediate impact on the epicenter. That is from here. From here means it is here. So these are the waves. You can see this. So in earthquakes, there are different waves are produced during the earthquake that we will see in the next slide. So the first wave which is produced during the earthquake is seismic waves. Earthquakes generate seismic waves. The nature, force and speed of the seismic waves depend on the nature of the medium through which it passes. So during the earthquake, seismic waves are very fast and it will reach the destination wherever it wants. That depends upon the the medium or force on which it travels. Accordingly, there are three major types of waves. Primary waves are known as P waves. Second one, secondary waves. Secondary waves are known as S waves. Third one, surface waves or L waves. So these are the different types of waves generated or produced during the earthquake. So this is another important GK. This may be asked in any competitive exams or in your exams also they will ask. CF Richter devised a scale to measure the magnitude of earthquakes. The scale relates to the energy released at the epicenter and provides an estimation of the severity of an earthquake. So the scientists are the person who invented a device with that we can identify the magnitude and the intensity. So how much speed it travels and where it reaches at what reaches, and in the different layers of the earth we can find the instrument or device which is been invented by the scientist or geologist known as Richter. So the earthquakes can be felt or we can measure the its force and how much intensity or magnitude it generates during the earth can be measured through the Richter scale, CF Richter scale. So this was the person who invented that device. So in his name itself, that device has been given, Richter scale. A device or tools used to measure the earthquakes is the Richter scale. First, from the seismic waves, the first waves is primary waves. So this is a question in the fourth block. For seventh question, it's the answer one. So I have marked here. Just mark it, you can copy down in your classwork. This is for sixth block, fourth question. P waves or primary waves are the fastest of all the earth waves, earthquake waves, and the first to reach the epicenter. So during the earthquake, there are seismic waves produced during the earthquake. In that, the first wave which is produced is primary waves or P waves. That is the fastest among all other two waves, secondary waves and surface waves or L waves. That fastly reaches the epicenter region. These waves passes through solids, liquids and gases either through push or pull with an average velocity of 5.3 km per second to 10.6 km per second. So this is the speed and distance. At what velocity? Velocity means it's a speed. So it's a speed at which the primary waves travels with how many kilometers per hour. So 5.3 kilometers per second to 10.6 kilometers per second. It's per second. I'm talking about per second. It travels per second 5 to 10 kilometers speed per second and reaches the epicenter. So next wave is secondary wave or S waves. Secondary waves travel only through solids. So have a difference between this. Primary waves will travel through all the mediums, liquid, gases, solids. But secondary waves travels only in the solids. This transverse wave shake the ground perpendicular to the direction in which they propagate. That means secondary waves or S waves, they transverse or they travel around shake the ground perpendicular. Perpendicular means just like a T shape. That is known as perpendicular. So that moves in a perpendicular to the direction in which they propagate. The average velocity of these waves is 1 kilometer per second to 8 kilometer per second. So there is a speed has been declined or decreased. So the secondary waves travels at a speed of 1 kilometer to 8 kilometer per second. This is the average velocity, average speed. Secondary waves will travels in the air. in a per second, 1 kilometer to 8 kilometer per second. The next wave is surface waves or L waves are similar to P waves, but they travel primarily along the ground surface. So the L waves or surface waves initially are primarily they will travel around the ground surfaces. So bottom layer of the surfaces, L waves or surface waves will travel. These waves travel comparatively slower and are most destructive waves. So these waves are a little bit uh, slower in speed and velocity, and are they are more very destructive and destroy the while traveling the layers of the earth or surface of the earth. The speed or velocity of this wave is 1 kilometer per second to 5 kilometer per second. So from the first wave to last wave, the speed of the velocity or speed of the waves has been getting declined per second. So this L waves will travel at a speed of 1 kilometer per second to 5 kilometer per second. So remaining things you will see in the next session. Thank you.